If you're treating trading like a game that you can win today, you've already lost. Because trading isn't about winning, it's about surviving. It's about staying in play, staying in the game long enough to allow the probabilities of your edge to play out in your favor. And until you learn how to play that game, you will never become consistent. So this is going to be the first video of a 3-part video series that I'm going to make on everything you need to know on how to become a consistent trader. So there are 3 keys to trading consistently. It's understanding the game of trading, adopting good beliefs, and applying those good beliefs in your trading system every single day. A lot of people walk into trading with the wrong mentality, treating it like every game that we learn growing up. If it was a board game like chess or checkers, or if it was a sport like basketball, hockey, soccer, these games are games that we fully support as a society. We spend hundreds to thousands of dollars to see that football game or to see that basketball game or soccer game or baseball game, right? We've centered our entire life around what these games are, which we will call finite games, okay? So a finite game is a game with a clear set of rules, boundaries, right? And then a scoreboard, where the objective is to abide by the rules, to stay within boundaries of the game, and to get more points on the scoreboard than your opponent, or reach a goal or a score before your opponent that determines the winner of the game or the loser of the game. Okay, so that's a finite game. So the problem with finite games that we've all been conditioned to play since we were children to adults is that they install and support short-term thinking and instant gratification, right? So even if you think about it like football, right? Whenever they pretty much, get a touchdown, or maybe not even a touchdown, right? Maybe just like a first down, everybody gets so excited. They get so hyped. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game is still ongoing, right? And everybody gets so hyped about this first down. They get so hyped about this touchdown. I know that's a field goal, but you get what I'm saying. And they get so hyped about this touchdown because it increases the probabilities of them winning the game, right? So the better plays, good plays that you make, the more touchdowns that you score, it increases the probabilities of you winning the game by the time the clock runs out. And the reason why this doesn't work with trading, because the objective of all of these games is to reach a goal within a certain period of time as fast as possible. And that alone should already ring a few bells on how non-profitable that is when it comes to trading. Where in these finite games, wins feel like the best feeling in the world, right? And then losers feel like the worst thing that you can ever endure. And the worst part about these infinite games is that the outcomes of these infinite games are what determine the quality of the decisions we've made, right? So basically what I'm getting at is that if I choose to make a play, right? Let's call it play A, and it got me, let's say a touchdown, right? So we ran a play right here, got me a touchdown. Let's say we ran plan B right here, and it got me sacked, right? Then that wasn't a good play. So we sit here and we determine the quality of these plays based on the outcomes, which is called resulting. It's a cognitive bias. It's not how you want to view things. It's pretty much a mental shortcut that causes us to misjudge reality without us even knowing it. And if we aren't aware of this, how are we supposed to improve on it? Which could put us in a cycle to make the same mistakes over and over and over again, and wonder why we're not progressing in the way that we want. And the problem with resulting, thinking that the outcome determines the quality of the plan, right, is that one, it only focuses on the outcome and completely neglects the skill, the process, and the preparation of the plan, right? And that neglection can lead to bad decisions in the future. And another big issue with resulting is that because you are so outcome based and the outcome determines the quality of the plan, it can lead you to be very, confused and frustrated when you have a good plan that leads to a loss and then a bad plan that leads to a win. Okay. So When this occurs, at that point, because you're so outcome based, you will not know what was a good plan and what was a bad plan, so you can do it repeatedly because you're not thinking in probabilities. Because that's the difference between thinking in probabilities and thinking on outcome based. Your process will continue to change over and over again. You might switch trading strategies or whatever. And that's the problem here when we apply this to trading. And please believe that this type of mentality and this, thought process definitely leaks over into trading, right? Where a bad outcome with a good process can have you think that it was a bad process or a bad choice or a bad play. And a good outcome with a bad process can make you think that it was something right to do because it was rewarded, right? And that's very dangerous in trading. That's just like if you have a profitable system, but because it lost a few times based on probabilities, which it's going to do, every trading system has an inherent loss. If it loses a few times, you may blame yourself and think that, you need to get a whole different trading setup when it just rendered its normal losses. Versus if you were to trade and you're trading off of emotion, and you're having these boom and bust cycles, right? And you're over leveraging. These are very bad processes that even if you win sometimes, overall, at the end of the day, is going to end up in a loss. You'll win some battles, but you will lose the war. Okay. So, and this is the issue with resulting, right? This is the issue with staying outcome based. When you sit here and you think that a bad outcome with a good process means you made a bad decision, and a good outcome with a bad process means you made the right decision. So let's do a quick little overview. I'm gonna get rid of all of this. All right. So as far as everything that I talked about, we grew up on finite games where there is a set of rules. There are boundaries we have to stay within, and then there's a scoreboard or a goal that we have to reach before our opponent. Okay. And everything that I talked about, which is completely toxic when it comes to trading and ruins trading consistency, and why 95% of traders fail, is because every single play that we make to determine if it's a good play, we look at the outcome. So if it worked, it was a good play. If it didn't work, it was a bad play. So we completely neglect the process. Okay. In trading, we want to focus on nothing but the process and completely neglect the outcome. Okay. Now let's get our emotions involved. Every time we get a touchdown or a first down, we celebrate, we get hype. And every time we get sacked, right, or we throw an interception or face any kind of penalty, right, that causes us to turn over, then we get very sad and we regret whatever decision that we made that led to these outcomes, even if it was the right decision to make, which is called resulting, a cognitive bias, which is a mental blind spot, which means we're doing something that we're unaware of that we're doing, right? We have a toxic trait that we're unaware of, which makes it almost impossible for us to actually fix if we don't have that awareness, okay? And the worst part about all of these things is it invokes emotional volatility, right? First down, happy. Turnover, sad. Touchdown, happy. Sacked, sad. Just a lot of emotional volatility is really not healthy. And that's what happens. People bring this finite game structure, which we've all been raised on. We take all this and we translate it into the game of trading, okay? And this simply does not work. That's why 95% of traders fail. That's why we can't find consistency, is because, or we have the wrong mentality. We keep thinking in terms of this finite game. So now we're going to talk about the infinite game. Okay, boom. So the infinite game, let's talk about it. The reason why people cannot maintain or even grow trading consistency is because they take the mentality of a finite game, which we've all grown up learning how to play, and they bring that mentality into the infinite game. So you're pretty much bringing a basketball on a soccer field and then get upset when you don't win. So the thing about the infinite game, specifically trading, is that it's about longevity. It's about adaptability. It's about managing risk, right? Where you play this infinite game where the rules always change. Okay, there is not a set rule. Like, they're liable to change at any given moment, at any given time, which makes you adaptable. Like, you have to adapt to it. There are no boundaries. You get it how you can, right? You can trade on the 1 minute time frame, or you can trade on the weekly time frame or the monthly time frame. It does not matter. There are no boundaries, right? And then the goal of the entire game is not to keep score, but to stay alive as possible, to stay in play, to have staying power, right? In this case for trading, it's to not blow your account. It's to have your account continuously funded and gradually moving up. Okay. Where in an infinite game, the winner and the loser is decided by who's still playing and who got taken out, who got bankrupt, who lost their account, right? Who lost the war, who left the relationship first. And if you couldn't tell by the examples I just given, infinite game consists of life, relationships, war, business, trading. These things are infinite games, right? Where the rules always change and they're always subjective, right? There are no boundaries. They are what you make them. And the whole point is to stay alive and stay together, or, just stay in play as long as possible. And the winner is decided amongst who is still in play, and the loser is decided amongst who pretty much quit or lost. Okay. So the whole goal of trading and what it means to win in trading is to trade forever. Is to keep that same account as long as possible and trade forever. And once you switch your mentality from, okay, when I get my first payout, right? Because people chase payouts all the time, right? And I meet this prop firm's rules, or if I make, let's say, my first 100K, that's my goal. I want to make $100,000, right? Or I want to be financially free, right? That's the whole purpose. And all of these are good goals, I guess, or good whys. But once you take all of this, right, and then you change that mentality to, I'm going to be trading for the rest of my life. I'm going to trade forever. Then it's easier to think in probabilities. Then it's okay to be patient and to take your time with your trades, and that every trade doesn't have to be a winner, because you know that you'll be back tomorrow and the next day and the next week and the next month and the next year and decade. Until you die, you will be trading. So every individual trade becomes irrelevant, really. Like, it doesn't matter. What we care about is the collective of trades, right? What we care about is staying in play long enough for our edge to play out and for it to render us the results that we got from backtesting one setup, one time frame, over 1,000 backtested trades, right? So that's the goal here. And so just for a quick recap, the goal of a finite game is to beat your opponent. And the goal of an infinite game is to stay and play forever. So when it comes to this infinite game, you want to keep playing. You want to keep mastering your edge, master what you're good at, and better yourself every single day and beat yourself every single day, and keep that account in order to give you probabilities of your profitable edge to play out. Give it an opportunity to play out. And all of this is the entire purpose of trading psychology. How to think in terms of the infinite game. How to think in probabilities. How to maintain emotional stability and not volatility. And everything that I spoke about in the video is the main reason why 95% of traders are not consistent. Why 95% of traders fail. It's not because they don't have the ability to trade or learn the charts or to execute. It's because they cannot transition their finite game mentality into the infinite game. You have to think the complete opposite in order to win this infinite game that we know as trading. And my entire YouTube channel is about helping you think differently, to rewire your mind so you can win the game that actually matters. So if you're serious about trading for life, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.